What's up, guys? I'm Joe. Today I'm talking about the new live album from Blind Guardian, Live Beyond the Spheres. So the heavy metal, power metal band Blind Guardian is back with a live album, their first in quite some time. I'm a huge Blind Guardian fan. I've always listened to Maiden and Priest and bands like that since, from a young age. Blind Guardian I kind of got into later on. I was in college at that point, but as soon as I heard them, I was totally hooked. That's when the At the Edge of Time album was the newest. I heard that, and then I just worked my way all the way back to the discography and loved all of it. So I was very excited about this live album coming out. I've had it on repeat since last week when it came out, and it's just phenomenal all the way through. This isn't a studio album or anything, obviously, which is what I've reviewed up until this point, but I've always loved listening to live music. I like the energy, I like the rawness of it, and it's really fun to hear bands playing live, and I really enjoy hearing the crowd reaction for whatever reason. Sometimes even listening to live versions of stuff more often than studio versions. Something that instantly comes to mind would be Fear of the Dark, Iron Maiden. Studio version of that song is fine, but that live Rock in Rio version is phenomenal. I listen to that way more than a studio version. And Blind Guardian is one of those bands that just has great live albums. One of the real older ones, Tokyo Tales, which follows their first couple albums, is really just fantastic. They've had some other live albums, some DVDs and stuff like that since then, but honestly, this one might have to take the cake. One thing that can be said about it for sure is that it spans their entire career almost perfectly. Each album is represented by at least one track, but usually a couple more than that. They have, some of the classic sing-along songs. If you don't know Blind Guardian, which a lot of people I know don't know them, but they seem to have a huge following throughout the world. Check out songs like Nightfall, The Lord of the Rings, Majesty, Valhalla. Mirror Mirror, just very great to sing along with, very intense, great riffs, great instrumentals all the way around. The band here sounds top-notch. These songs were all recorded in 2015 on their tour, so relatively new, and they sound like they're really just at a height in their career. All these songs are, flawlessly executed. The singer, Hansi Kirsch, some of the best vocals I've heard from him personally. He just, everything hits so hard. He may sing stuff lower from time to time, but he comes through when it matters on these songs. If you follow their studio albums, they're pretty known for really layering vocals. As far as the studio versions of songs go, almost in like a Queen kind of way. There's just vocal on vocal on vocal. So that's stripped down in the live versions quite a lot. And so where that might be lacking at times, I feel like the crowd interaction makes up for it. Some of the backing vocals they have on here make up for it. And, Hansi just delivering on every single song where it matters. And just overall great performances. You also get some great tracks on here that have not been seen on live albums before, maybe in some of the DVDs. But personally, I just love listening to live stuff, not necessarily having to watch the band perform, though, I like that as well. Big highlight on here, and then there was Silence. It's a very epic long track, 15 minutes long, more than multiple, lots and lots of different changes in different parts, highs and lows throughout the song. Just very big, very long, and to hear the band go through it so well is just really great. That's a highlight. Some of the newer songs on here from the last album, Beyond the Red Mirror, you have The Ninth Wave, Twilight of the Gods, Prophecies. And these songs sound way better than on the studio album. I really love that album. I love all the songs on it. But I gotta say, the production on there wasn't the best. Everything just sounds so, raised up, way too loud. And it kind of, clips. And it's kind of hard to discern some stuff on there at time to time. Especially on, that album had some songs that featured full orchestras. And there's just so much going on. And it's so heavily compressed that it's hard to hear at times. So it's nice to hear more stripped-back versions of these songs, the couple that are on here from that album, and they're really just great. Especially the Ninth Wave sounds way better in this live setting than it does on the studio album. As far as newer songs, there's 3 from At the Edge of Time, which is my introduction to the band. I was late coming in on there, but I'm happy to hear Sacred Worlds, Wheel of Time, Tanalorn, all really great songs. Wheel of Time and Sacred Worlds, both longer, epic songs, which there are plenty of on here. There's so many songs on here that are 7, 8, if not more minutes. I like that they choose to do those longer songs because that's some of their best material are these, sprawling epics. And a couple deep cuts on here, which is nice. Bright Eyes, Lost in the Twilight Hall, an older song. One of my personal favorites, The Last Candle, which has that great intro that the audience really gets into. And that's what's great to hear on here, too. What I really like about heavy metal bands and live albums in particular, the crowd always is singing along at full force. So, like, for me, like, songs like this, songs like Nightfall, or Majesty, which has that great, catchy, huge chorus, hearing the crowd backing up Hansi's vocals is just, like, part of it for me. I just, I love hearing that. It builds the intensity, the excitement, it's very energetic, and, that comes across really well in all these songs on here. I mean, you could just feel the excitement, especially, in the Bard song or the Lord of the Rings, just, people belting it out in the crowd, and I really like that, and it just creates a great listening experience. So yeah, overall, you have a really great career-spanning live album here. It's cool that they vary their sets enough to, just from one tour be able to take so many different songs and throw them onto an album, which is great. This is an easy 5 out of 5 for me. It doesn't really, live albums aren't going to really, rank amongst my studio albums for the year, but, it's easy just to give this a 5 because I absolutely love it. Love the band. If you have not listened to Blind Guardian, go check them out. And yeah, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out some other videos. There's plenty coming, more on the way. So, yeah, thanks, guys.